Hello everyone, today you will hear an interesting story. Thanks to my father's efforts, I received an excellent education. My father had a father who was not a big business but quite profitable. My father taught me everything he knew from a young age. But I did not want to work with my father. I wanted to achieve much greater heights. When I was very young, I met Jessica. I was in one of the city bars. Pleasant melodic music played here. It was a great quiet evening, and I decided to relax a bit. I was sitting in the corner of the room, my favorite hiding place. Suddenly, I heard the ringing of bells, which rang from the opening front door. A very beautiful blonde walked into the bar. She was wearing bright red lipstick and a beautiful white dress. She did not sit down at a table, but went straight to the bartender and sat down at the bar counter. Her beauty did not let me take my eyes off her. She sat and drank a margarita. I decided to come and get acquainted. That evening, I won't interfere, I said and sat down next to the girl. No, don't bother, she answered without much interest. I would like to meet you and treat you to another margarita, if you don't mind, I said. But if you want to be alone, then I will not disturb you. Okay, let's get to know each other, she said, looking at me with a smile. My name's Christopher. What's yours? Hard day? I asked. Yes, today was a hell of a day at work, so I decided to relax, she answered. I understand you. I also decided to relax after a hard day, I said. And what do you do for a living, if it's not a secret? I work in a beauty salon, she said. And you? Oh, I don't do much business. There are many expectations from this case, but so far only more headaches than money, I replied with a smile. She and I decided to change the topic of conversation so that we no longer mention work in order to take a break from it completely. From a little constrained and insecure, our communication has grown into a more cheerful and unobtrusive one. We moved to my table. I did not notice how several hours flew by and the bar was already closing. We also walked along the street lit by lanterns without ceasing to chat cheerfully. And it's been over 12 years since we got married. Things have gone up for me. I became an excellent financial analyst and learned how to invest in successful projects. My success and fortune grew. We lived with Jessica in a big and noisy city, but I had enough money to buy a private house in an elite area where you could still enjoy the silence. Jessica didn't work anymore. I saw how hard it was for her to work, and she didn't make much money either. Naturally, as it's not a problem for me to provide for both of us, and Jessica stayed at home, taking care of our house. Everything was fine. We lived in harmony. I loved the moment when I came home hungry and tired, where Jessica met me with a smile, and there was already a delicious dinner on the table. But recently, the family idol has been broken. It happened increasingly that I came home, but my wife was not at home. She even recently stopped warning me that she would leave somewhere. This annoyed me greatly. I felt that there was clearly something wrong. Jessica was reluctant to tell me where and with whom she spent her time. I endured her antics for a long time, but there is an end to everything. Jessica did not come home at all, but returned in the early morning. Damn you, Jessica, what are you doing? I didn't sleep all night and couldn't get through to you. I met Jessica at the threshold of the house with screams. Honey, I'm sorry, I'm really to blame. She answered guiltily, smelling strongly of alcohol. I just went overboard with Monica's tequila yesterday at her place, so I stayed there for the night and passed out, unable to hear the phone.
Monica called out of the blue and invited me to visit. She had some trouble. Her beloved dog had been hit by a car, so I went to console her.
You went to console your friend because of the dog. Have you forgotten that you also have a husband?
Yes, Christopher, you're right. I'm entirely to blame, but let's postpone this conversation for later. I need to sleep.
Okay, we'll talk later. Oh, and wash yourself. All your makeup is smeared as if you wiped it on all the poles on the street. Conversations with Jessica didn't lead to anything. I began to seriously suspect that she was cheating on me. I decided to talk to her friend Monica. I called her, and we agreed to meet.
Hello, Christopher.
Can you explain to me what's going on with Jessica?
Christopher, to be honest, I don't know myself. I constantly tell her not to lean on alcohol like that, but she doesn't listen to me.
Okay, this is clear, I said. Now tell me the truth. Is Jessica cheating on me? Christopher, I don't want to participate in your family showdown. I don't know anything about it, Monica replied. I see, I said. Well, what do you think? If I arrange a test for her, she will pass it. I asked, Christopher, what are you thinking? Monica asked. I don't think Jessica will allow herself too much. I haven't come up with anything yet, but I'm disgusted to see her disgusting behavior, so I think Jessica is hiding something. I understand that you are friends, but if you know something, then just tell me now, I beg you. Christopher, I really don't know anything when we are together. There are no other guys in our company. My husband would just kill me for this, and you know Lucas well, so I have nothing to hide. I see things are really bad, right? Yes, Monica. She constantly says that she loves me, that I am her only one, but her behavior suggests otherwise. Okay, I'm sorry I contacted you for such a reason. I beg you very much, don't tell Jessica about this conversation. Of course, Christopher, it will remain between us. I was in despair. I felt that Jessica definitely didn't tell me something, and I decided to check it out. I just had a project a few months ago. It was an agency that was engaged in checking for infidelity. I did not consider it seriously then. I only consulted, but I did not become an investor. But I heard that nevertheless this organization found money and existed all this time. I called and made an appointment. I told you what type of men Jessica likes, and Kevin was offered for this role. He was a handsome guy with broad shoulders. I came up with a story for him. He was supposed to be a rich foreigner who would ask Jessica for help and then provoke her to get closer. I was extremely nervous during this test. Thanks to hidden cameras, I saw how Kevin approached to meet Jessica. It was at Jessica's favorite restaurant. Kevin was sitting at the next table. He had just finished his lunch, paid the waiter, and walked over to Jessica. Excuse me, I'm not local. Can you tell me how to get to the PI? He said. Yes, of course, but it would be easier for you to take a taxi. You would be taken to this place without any problems. Jessica answered. Yes, I'm just in my car. I don't want to leave it here, Kevin said, nodding to the side where his parked Maserati was. Jessica glanced unenthusiastically at his car. Yes, it is better not to leave such an expensive car unattended once again. Now I will tell you everything, Jessica answered, drawing a route on a napkin and explaining how to navigate. Girl, thank you so much. You painted everything in detail and I don't feel like asking you, but could you come with me and show me the way? Kevin persistently suggested. No, I'm sorry, but I can't, Jessica replied sharply. But why? I will take you wherever you want. If necessary, I would be pleased to have such a handsome co-driver nearby. And my yacht is moored on the pier. I can show it to you, and if you want, we can write it right now, Kevin persistently persuaded. I've 2 paragraphs of text from speech to text. String 1 has all the characters. String 2 is more redundant than paragraph 1. Here are the edited versions of both. Man, I married Andy began, and your proposals are not interesting to me. I drew you a map and told you how to get there, and you don't need to persuade me. I'm in a hurry, and I'll go in my car. All the best. Jessica replied sharply and quickly left the restaurant. It was just incredible. The most tender feelings for Jessica played in my heart, and pride woke up that I had such a faithful wife. I was congratulated on the successful completion of the test. I sincerely believed in the result of this check, since it was hard for Kevin to refuse. It was obvious right away. Everything was thought out to the smallest detail. But Jessica did not fall for a single provocation. I was immensely happy, and now I could completely trust Jessica. I thought she needed to relax too, even if she did it by going too far, but now I thought that everything would be fine in time. I had a lot of work, and I wanted to please Jessica. So I gave her money to go to a resort for a vacation. The day after Jessica left, Monica called me unexpectedly. Victoria married Andy said, and I don't need your proposals. I drew you a map and told you how to get there, and you don't need to persuade me. I'm in a hurry, and I'll go in my car. All the best. Jessica replied sharply and quickly left the restaurant. I was impressed by Jessica's behavior, and I felt proud that I had such a faithful wife. I was congratulated on the successful completion of the test. I was confident in the result of this check, since it was hard for Kevin to refuse. Everything was thought out to the smallest detail. But Jessica did not fall for any provocation. I was very happy, and now I could completely trust Jessica. I thought she needed to relax, so I gave her money to go to a resort for a vacation. The day after Jessica left, Monica called me unexpectedly and asked if we could meet and talk. I was alarmed and asked if something had happened. Monica looked nervous when I arrived. I'm sorry, she began. I accidentally mentioned our conversation to someone else. Monica looked guilty. What did you tell her? I asked. Everything we talked about, she replied. I just accidentally mentioned that we saw each other, and then she began to question me and threaten me. I had a little fling with the guy, and Jessica threatened to tell my husband everything. I'm sorry.
She looked scared. She knew you would test her, she added. I should have told you all about this right away, but I was afraid. But I can't hide it anymore, and I already feel really bad. And that's not all. I saw her with Adam.
This is your client or partner in the past. Damn it, Monica.
I just sent her to rest at the resort, and I know that Christopher. She boasted in front of me that she can twist you as she wants. She added, "Hey, Christopher, she really got creepy. She went to Adam's hotel." I overheard her conversation on the phone by accident.
Is that all? I asked. Or do you want to dump something else on me so that I'm completely crazy? I said angrily, "That's all, Christopher, on my word," Monica replied. I was furious. In a few minutes, I learned something that made my blood freeze in my veins. I remembered Adam. I came to him with my proposal, and now I realized that he was not the right person to work with. I decided to end our partnership and find someone more reliable and trustworthy. I came to him with my wife to meet him. It was a rare bastard. He also wanted me to invest in his hotel. But I seen this project. Adam wanted to make candy out of shit. History, the project had many shortcomings. There were many violations both in the building itself and in the staff. At least half of the staff did not have health record books. Additionally, there were unsafe building materials, violation of fire safety, and much more. But Adam assured me that this is how many successful people work, that everything cannot be perfect. And he promised me that my income would increase very quickly. I did not listen to his vile stories. I saw a rotten nature, which nevertheless pleased my wife. She still flirted with him a little then, but I did not attach any importance to this. Apparently, this bastard found a way to open his own hotel. I had no doubt that there was a lot to find fault with. I never saw Adam again. I quickly erased my connections. I decided to set enough influential people on his hotel. But initially, I decided to go myself and make sure everything personally, to look into the eyes of my wife. I came to the city where this bastard's hotel was. I stood outside the hotel and thought, how can I find out where they might be? Far from the hotel, I noticed a rotten trash can. I kicked this tank with my foot, and a bunch of cockroaches rained down from there. In a fit of anger, I had an idea. I went to the hotel and went to the reception to get a hotel room. I looked around. At first glance, everything looked good. But if you look closely, you could see new but cheap building materials, and fire safety was also not in the best condition. I put on my sunglasses and sat in the corner of the bar, which was on the ground floor. Suddenly, I noticed Adam and Jessica. These bitches slowly walked to their number. Even more anger boiled inside me, but I restrained myself from running up to them right away. I carefully followed them all the way to the door. There was no one in the corridor, so I could calmly approach this door without unnecessary suspicion. I gently turned the doorknob, but it was locked. I listened and heard moans. This is where my patience ran out. I moved away from the door to gain momentum and burst into their room. Jessica stood doggy style, her hands resting on a small chest of drawers, and this freak had her from behind. I tore open the package I had brought with me and threw it at those bastards. There were a lot of cockroaches in the bag, which I picked up in the garbage. The bastards squealed in fright. What is this?
Damn it, Christopher.
And off to the side, shaking off the cockroaches.
Yes, dirty bitches. I decided to visit you with a gift, I shouted. Then I grabbed a vase that was on a small table near the entrance and threw it at Adam. The vase shattered into pieces on impact with the bastard's head. Adam rolled, blood smearing the floor.
By way, stop.
Jessica screamed in hysterics. Shut your stinking mouth, you dirty whore. You have lied to me for so long, and now you will answer for everything, impudent creature. Apologies won't help you. And now quickly, take your things and leave this hotel before I kill you. All right, Christopher. All right, now I'll just get dressed. Well, I don't... You shook your bare ass in front of this bastard, so now show your charms to others. Do not be shy. Fun. And you filthy bastard, you'll find out how I'll get back at you. I yelled and kicked Adam in the face. Jessica, completely naked, ran out of the room. She was mortally afraid that I would catch up with her. She ran out into the street and flashed her heels. I left this hotel with complete confidence that I no longer want to see this dirty creature, who, until recently, was my wife. At my tip and request, serious people took over Adam's hotel. So bribes didn't help that bastard. His hotel was closed, and Adam found himself bare-assed on the street up to his ears in debt. I divorced this scum. She was left without anything. Now she will have to remember how to work from morning to night for a penny. She deserves nothing else. I was able to calm down. My successful revenge helped me get rid of the feeling of loneliness. Now I knew for sure that there was no lying creature next to me, which drove me crazy with its antics. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our content.